Hello everyone, it's Melanie here with Vintage Hill Studios. Thank you so much for dropping by today. I have a cute fall lineup card using Unity Stamp Company rubber stamps, and here's what it looks like. Isn't this adorable? It's simple little stamps. There are two in this set, one sentiment, one set of trees. These are what it looks like. And these are the papers that I'll be using. Now for a little twist, I decided to use my rubber stamps on this plaid paper. Instead of stamping on just plain paper, I thought the plaid would be really cute. So to help me, I'm using a mini Misti stamping platform with water-based markers. Now I'm starting with a dark brown for the trunks. And you can see I'm only using 5 colors of markers for the whole card, keeping it very simple here. So I start coloring my trees. I like to lay my brush markers on the side, just using the side of the brush marker, not the tip. You can cover a lot more area that way. You can see how, now what I was saying about the mini Misti, I will do a few stamped impressions here to get a very solid image, especially when working on a bit of patterned paper. So the mini Misti comes with these little magnets. That's what the circles are. They hold my paper completely in place so that I can stamp as many times as I need to get a very crisp and clear impression. Now, as I move along, I'm putting the markers at the top of my mini Misti in line with each tree that I've stamped, because I'm going to come back and I need to make sure that I'm using the correct colors on each of these trees. So that's my method there of lining my markers up at the top of each of the trees. Now, should you get a little bit of marker on the next tree, all you do is take your finger and just wipe that away from your rubber stamped tree. It comes off very easily, and that keeps you from cross-contaminating the colors from your trees there. Okay, I'm about done stamping the trees. Those are looking good. Now this is why I purposefully laid those markers at the top of each one of my tree, because I am going back and deepening and darkening the colors at the base of each tree to give them a little shadow there at the bottom of the tree. And I'll give that a quick stamp and I'll be done with the trees here. Now moving on to my sentiment, I'm using that same dark brown that I used for the trunks of the trees to color in the sentiment. Again, laying the brush marker on the side as I apply it to the stamp. Now I will just reinforce that brown on the word fall, because I want that to be a little more bold. And there is the center of our card. I like to clean my stamps with a baby wipe, and I keep those a wipe one at a time in a Ziploc bag that keeps it moist, and I just turn it and reuse it until I no longer can use that baby wipe. Then I throw it out, start with another one. So here are those papers I showed you earlier. I've already, to save time, I have die cut and cut all my mats to go on the front of this card. And I have all the supplies and dimensions listed on my card blog, and I'll provide a link to that in just a little bit. And it's also at the front and back of this video. So to add a little natural element to my fall card here, I'm going to use this jute twine. And I'll bring over my handy dandy tool that I love using anytime I have to use any type of adhesive. This is a silicone microwave mat that I found in a big box store, but it works great. You can see I go over the edges of my piece of paper, and all I have to do is take my finger and rub it over any adhesive that goes outside of my paper perimeter, and it comes right off. And it also makes for a very clean work surface, so I don't have to worry about my paper sticking to my grid mat or anything. Alright, this twine is a little bit stiff, so I will work with it as I bring it around 3 times here. And you can see I'm flipping that over on my silicone mat, and this does not stick where I have any adhesive that comes off either from the back of this printed mat or what I ran over on the side. So get yourself a silicone mat, it's worth it. Okay, I'm going to tie this in the center, so I'll bring over a shorter piece of that jute and I just make a loop, and then I'll put the tails through the loop and pull that taut. There we go. And then that allows me to tie a knot, and I can manipulate the tails where I want them on the front of my card. Make any adjustments I need to my trio of wrapped twine there. Snip off the ends, and this is ready to go on the front of the card. So I'll get my mats put down. Of course, like I mentioned, all the dimensions can be found on my card blog, and here is my link. Get that lined up. I like to bring over a brayer and just reinforce my adhesion there to make sure that it really sticks well to my card base. Okay, now when I'm doing my mats, one of the tricks that I like to use is that, I mean, we're all eyeballing this, right? And you want it to be straight. Now, it's not always perfect, but I find that if I try to line up my corners visually, I get pretty close to centering these mats every time. All right, so here is the negative part below my center here. That little brown piece of paper is from the same die that I cut out the center of my card with. So they're exactly the same size as the negative from the frame there in the top left. I'm going to simply adhere that to the back of my plaid piece just to give it a little more stability and help ensure that that jute stays securely in place behind this piece. Now for the frame, I will get this middle piece put down onto my card front, and then I have cut some small strips of foam tape for my frame because I want to pop that up so it looks more like a picture frame over the centerpiece of my card. And it will also balance out the dimension that I gained with that jute. So the frame being popped up on foam tape and the jute have an equal, appearance of dimension here. All right, and that finishes the front of my card. You don't really have to overdo it on your cards when your stamps can stand alone like this. They're so cute. And I just love the way this card came together. So here's some close-ups of my card. The front, the inside sentiment with the little strip of leaves going through there, and my finished envelope. Now, if you want to see how I do these easy-peasy lined envelopes, please feel free to visit some of my other YouTube videos. I hope you enjoyed this video today and that you will get inspired to give it a try. I think it came out really cute, and sometimes the simple cards are the best. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel or my card blog, and I hope to see you next week. Happy crafting, everyone!